Hi everyone. So just to begin by saying thank you for everyone who's tuning in to watch this video. I appreciate your time and I appreciate your energy so much. And as always, setting the intention that whatever I'm going to talk about today is something that's going to inspire some kind of transformation in your own life, in the way you think, in the way you act, in the way you behave. That's always my intention, to just empower you as much as possible to become the best version of yourself in this lifetime. So today I want to start by actually asking a question, and I love for you to just tell me down below in the comments. My question is, what would you consider to be a spiritual experience for yourself? Not even for yourself, like how would you define a spiritual experience? And I'm gonna start by answering my own question in saying that I used to think that a spiritual experience was someone who, like, you've had this amazing awakening, like out of this world experience in your own body. Like maybe, I don't know if any of you have tapped into what Kundalini energy is and awakening your Kundalini. So when I will read description of that, of how people felt like the entire body was on heat, or they were having this grand visions like in their third eye or something that's just so magnificent, right? I used to think that that is what a spiritual experience was. And if you hadn't gone through that, then you were really not awakened. But I came to discover later that my assumption was actually wrong, but a lot of people actually believe that to be true. So I'd love to know if this is you, if this is what you believe to be a spiritual experience, or if this is how you would actually term as someone being super spiritual, someone who's really connected to the divine realm, if they claim to have this amazing visions and amazing experiences, like, will you actually believe that to be a super spiritual person? And I want to correct that for you today, the same way that I was corrected, in that number one, we're not the same. I think I've said this previously in my previous videos. If you've not seen them, go and check them out. But we are not designed the same. How I think and how I act and how I show up is not the same way that you act or you think or you show up in this world. So my kind of experiences and your kind of experiences will never be similar. But that doesn't mean that my kind of experiences are better than yours just because they look different from you. Something that you really need to be aware of is that just because you're not having this amazing out of this world kind of experience, it doesn't mean that you're not a spiritual person or a spiritual being. Spirituality looks different for each one of us, depending on how we interpret and how we show up in the world. So for me, who used to think that spirituality was having this out of world experience, I came to discover that spirituality was just me connecting with my soul. As simple as that. It's me being able to differentiate between my ego and my spirit whenever I'm sure we all have this voice that's usually inside of our head all the time. So when I'm able to separate that so that I'm really able to tune into what my soul is guiding me to do, then I'm having a spiritual awakening. So if that this is you currently, and maybe you're in doubts and you're thinking that, oh, I haven't had this amazing experiences like the information that's out there with the big teachers, I think they talk about having those kind of experiences, right? If I'm not having that, then I'm not awakened enough, and that is not true. That is not true at all. I always say that your best teacher is yourself. So if you're able to separate your ego from your soul and actually tap into what your soul really desires of you, you're already having a spiritual experience. So don't wait for it to be this out of this world experiences for you to believe that, oh, now you've been awakened. That will, it might happen. Let me just stress, it could happen. I'm not saying that it will not happen. It's only that the difference between maybe you and the people who are experiencing that is the fact that, number one, maybe they have some knowledge that you don't. So if you are able to tap into that knowledge, you might actually be able to have this kind of out of this world experiences for yourself. Because I completely believe that we are capable of anything that we put our mind to and we set our mind to do. right? If you set the intention that this is what I want to do for myself, I want to have this kind of experience, it's going to happen for you. But you have to do the work to make that happen. Like it's not going to happen just because you set the intention. You still have to take aligned actions to take you to that action. And that will mean maybe tapping into certain meditations or tapping into certain methods that will actually lead you to that state much faster compared to what you're doing. But it doesn't mean that just because other people are having those kind of experiences that there's anything wrong with you. That's not true. So if you're tapping into that, this message is for you that you're perfect just as you are enough just as you are, and believe in yourself and keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, you're actually going to end up there if that is your intention, if at all you want to call in that kind of experience for yourself. And the other thing I love to talk about in this video is the number one, I always say, like, really be careful with who you choose to be your mentor or your guide in these experiences, because number one, not all people have your best intentions at heart. Not all people are in this kind of work are 100% in it for the benefit of their clients. Most of them just want to set themselves up as this amazing, like, so that you can actually honor them or just revere them or something like that. I hope I said that right. Like, so that you can really adore them or something like that. So you're constantly giving them your energy because you're in awe of how amazing they are. But when you look at the core of it, this person doesn't actually have your best interest, doesn't want to empower you to do that for yourself, which is actually supposed to be the case. We're supposed to be guiding each other to have this kind of experiences together so that it doesn't come to a point where now we're assuming that someone is above us just because they happen to just go slightly ahead of us. And that's not true. Or we assume that just because, you know, they are this amazing teacher with this amazing amount of followers, then that they have all the answers. And again, I can't stress that enough. Like, that is not true. You are your own best teacher. So whatever kind of messages that they're tapped into, you can also tap into yourself if you chose that for yourself. It might mean you putting in more work into working on you and really, really working on connecting with your soul, but it can happen for you if you choose it to happen for you. So tap into people who actually empower you to do that, right? Like if it's a teacher who's actually giving you information that empowers you to be able to do that for yourself, then I'm all for that. But if it's a teacher who's gonna keep keep you coming to them and you always being stuck in that kind of victim mindset, in that, like, I'm not able to do this for myself and they're the only ones who are gifted into that, then no, maybe it's time to look for other teachers. But I'm not here to tell you what to do. Again, you are your own best advisor. I'm only just passing the information as I've received from my own guidance team. So yeah, that is what I want to talk about today. Just just to do a recap, it's, don't think that just because you haven't had an amazing out of this world experience, it doesn't mean that you're not spiritually woke. You're already woke enough. I hope I said that correctly. You're already woke enough. The only thing you need to do is just fine tune your skills so that you're really, really being able to filter out the garbage of the ego. Remember, your ego is the one that's always criticizing you, that's always coming from a place of hate or always coming from a place of competition or pride. If you're tapping into those kind of messages in your head, that's probably your ego running the show. But if you're able to tap into this other voice that's always so understanding, filled with so much love, filled with so much compassion for yourself and for others, right? It's not coming from a place of, you did this to me, so you have to pay. No, it's coming from, I understand that you were going through a certain kind of hurt and whatever it was, and I forgive you and I send you nothing but love. If you're able to tap into that voice that's always constantly giving you positive feedback in your head, then you're tapping into your soul, because your soul is designed to be good. It's designed to be good. It's not designed to be held down by all of this thing that's happening all around the world. So if you're able to tap into that message, you're able to tap into the voice, then you're already a spiritual being. So let me know down below if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, let me know why. I'm really curious. And that's all for today. So sending you virtual hugs for whoever has watched the video thus far, and just love and blessings to everyone. Mwah. Bye.